Thank you for granting us this interview, Dr. Erian. My first question is, the Muslim Brotherhood has recently rejected calls made by Egypt's liberal and leftist movements for drafting a constitution ahead of the September elections. What is the rationale for the Brotherhood's position?
Constitution must be made by elected committee, not appointed committee. Constitution must be representing all political factions and elites and ordinary people. So the road to constitution passed by election, not neglecting election or before election. This is to mean that we have parliamentary election. The parliament will choose and elect a committee to make the draft, and this draft is discussing in elected parliament and then go to the referendum for the people.
Regardless of which between constitution making and elections comes first, there is general consensus that Egypt sooner or later needs an entirely new constitutional dispensation going forward in any case. What are the priorities of the Muslim Brotherhood or its Justice and Freedom Party with regards to constitutional reform? In other words, what kind of provisions will the Muslim Brotherhood like to see in the new constitution?
A new constitution must represent all Egyptians, must come after national consensus. And a new constitution must respect the dreams of the Egyptians. The dreams means that representing the revolution, human dignity, justice, freedom. This means equality, liberty, and unity, and also to preserve rights for all Egyptians. Not biased to businessmen against poor, not for the poor against rich. It will reflect all dreams of all Egyptians.
Final question. A member of the Brotherhood's Guidance Bureau, Saad al-Husseini, was quoted in the press, Egyptian press, as saying that its new Freedom and Justice Party would continue to stick by its view that Christians and women are unsuitable for the presidency. How does this tie with the affirmations, as we heard you say yesterday, that the Brotherhood envisages a new Egypt in which everyone is equal before the law?
Everyone is equal before the law. Everyone has the right to run the presidential election, fulfilling the conditions in the constitution. No discrimination between men and women, no discrimination between Muslims and Christians and even unbelievers, if we have ever in the country. It is not true that Saad al-Husseini said so. Saad al-Husseini thought that we obey the constitution. The constitution allows every Egyptian to run the presidential election.
But if the constitution allows every Egyptian to run for the presidential election, that obviously includes Christians and women.
Yes,
but then
Christians and women, if were appointed by Freedom and Justice Party, they will run the election. It needs internal discussion, internal decision in any party to run the presidential election as candidate for this party. So the first step is in all parties. And I hope we can find many parties that can have internal election to appoint a candidates which are available to win. And this must take in consideration. Any party want to win presidency, want to appoint the candidate which is ready to run the election, can gain votes, can win.
So in other words, women and Christians can be allowed to run for presidential elections in Egypt, even under a regime that is run by the Freedom and Justice Party. Is that what you're saying?
I hope to listen to Democratic Party in America, not in Egypt. When appoint Barack Hussein Obama to be his candidate for presidency in the 4 years ago elections, and not allowing Hillary Clinton to run the same election. It is up to the party to decide who is good for the party, not only for democracy, not only for the country. It is mainly for the party. Any party not allowed women, not for discrimination. It is for the prospect of the party about winning or not winning. This is very important in democratic process. Democratic process don't mean ideology, or don't mean that you are fighting for rights of women or men or Christians or Muslims. Democracy means put your all efforts to win.
Thank you very much for granting us this interview.
Thank you.